It's not the business of the future is to predict per se. We take bets like everybody else does, but professionally what we do is we look at alternative possibilities. So some of the alternative possibilities for, say, for example, in an individual country can be an increasingly number of direct interactions. In the past, we had the idea that you had to go through an intermediary, whether it's a university or a government or a taxi cab company or whatever. We have more direct interactions. We think that that's going to increase a lot in the future. We also think that brain functioning will become a normal thing to improve. Just like we improve our physical functioning, we want to improve our brain functioning. We'll also be able to have, we think, the ability to have the world's knowledge put on a contact lens interactive live so that we behave essentially a behavioral genius. So we end up with countries that are far more intelligent, far more knowledgeable, and far more direct interaction with each other, meaning that countries become much more complex. A general rule of thumb is whatever you look at in the future, imagine how it could become more complex than you think is possible, and you'll get closer to the truth.
Jerome Glenn is the founder and CEO of the Millennium Project and the lead author of the annual State of Future reports. With over 40 years of experience in futures thinking and research, Jerome is often regarded as the godfather of futures thinking. Jerry, very recently, Pakistan launched its first State of the Future index called PK-SOFI. Where do you see Pakistan in the next and the far future?
Well, according to the State of the Future index with Pakistan, it looks like you're going to improve a bit. Not a fabulous amount,
yeah,
but enough that there's reason to be optimistic. And too many people, I think, in this country that I've learned about in the last 2 hours of being here, maybe a little bit unnecessarily pessimistic. So the index is showing you that, yes, it looks like the trajectory is better, and there's reason to be a little optimistic about what's possible here.
Jerry, at least 240 million people across the world right now are unemployed. In Pakistan alone, we have 2 million young people who enter into the labor force every year. There's no denying the fact that it's a huge challenge for governments across the globe to actually create jobs for this large chunk of the population. So what do you think is the future of work in the Pakistani as well as the global context?
Well, I'd like to turn it around. Instead of saying, how do we create more jobs? Because then that gets almost an inefficient way of thinking. Like, if I can do X, it takes 10 people to do it, then that's better if I can do X by 2 people to do it, right? That would be their normal thinking. Well, that means a lot of fluff in the economy. And when you have a fluff in the economy, sooner or later you get hit. What's happening is people are increasingly creating their own activities. We can connect, any individual today can connect almost to half the world through internet. So if I'm interested in, let's say, teaching juggling, I can put in a little thing in the internet, say, you know, $5 teaching juggling. We can make a living out of connecting to people around the world that are interested in paying some small amount of money for what I'm interested in doing anyway. You have people now with Uber and things like this where self-employment, more and more people are starting to make a side income with their hobbies. So as their jobs, conventional jobs, leave, these side hobbies, these side interests slowly become more of an actual income stream. Not everybody's going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever you look at in the future is going to get more complex than you think. So there's not one answer for employment. Right? There'll be a variety of it. You'll still have a lot of people with normal jobs in the future, but an awful lot of growth will actually come to self-employment, self-actualization economy. So you say, what is my gift to the world? What am I interested in doing? And then how do I connect to that in the world? That's a different way of approaching employment than we've had in the past. Because we never had that ability. We never had the ability to do that. because technology is rapidly changing our societies around the world, we're going to have to learn how to be more intelligent. Now, we have things to help us, obviously, with new forms of artificial intelligence, but we're also learning a great deal about cognitive science. We can improve the human brain. So far, no country has declared increasing intelligence as a national objective. Maybe 30 years ago, for a couple of years, Venezuela did it. That's a long time ago, in a short time. But today, we know a great deal more about neuroplasticity and other things about brain function and the relationship to computers. So Pakistan could be the first country to declare increasing intelligence as a national objective of education. Worldwide, ministries of education simply talk about getting knowledge and becoming good citizens. But we haven't talked about increasing intelligence. You can make a society more intelligent. We know more about that today than before. So there's a suggestion I'd like to see done in Pakistan.